Let's play fast, but do it slowly. With a T49 and Elias right here. Another episode of Sub Replays. If you, fellow human, want to send me your replays, put them on my Discord server. Link to that in the description. Now, T49 is a meme tank. Excellent mobility, no armor whatsoever. 152mm derp gun with HE and heat. Now, one thing that is really bad, firstly, we start off with this game with a, well, cardinal sin of playing World Tanks Blitz, and that is going to the city at the beginning of the battle in a light or a medium tank. That immediately, in 95% of cases, immediately shows that is a bad player. But in this case, it does end up working out. However, I always highly recommend never playing the city, just to make that clear again, because the city is not where a vehicle like this belongs at all. That has no place there whatsoever. Now, luckily for Elias here, there isn't much going on in the city besides a lonely lost CS-52 that is now attempting to cap and is exposing his rear to the absolutely incredible HE damage that T49 can deliver. Now, what we have here is we have a tank that is extremely fast, and if you watch my videos for a while, you've also noticed that I often tell you to peak faster. But now, we're gonna have to encompass that a little bit with the slow part of this video. You always want to peak fast. You want to peak as quickly as possible to give your enemy as little time to react as you possibly can. However, setting that up should be done slowly, right? In a case like this, you have no accuracy, just send it out there, not really working out, it's gonna fail. So, to set up those fast moments, you want to ideally take it a bit slower. And how do I mean that? Well, you find yourself a target, you look, what is your team doing? What is the enemy team doing? Don't just rush in right at the beginning, and because you're gonna die then. What you want to do is you want to think about when to make your next move, and then when you make that next move, you're gonna make it quick. You know, here's a perfect target, a SMV CC64, an excellent vehicle that, again, could have waited a bit longer there to take that shot, right? It was a good move to pull that off, but it's just too fast. You want to peak fast, but only when it's actually going to work out, right? And that's where you have to prepare it slowly. Speaking of slow, the SMV is near water. In water, tanks don't like being in water, so they're going to be very slow. So if you happen to have your enemy in water, they're going to be a lot slower, so you can take a lot more advantage of that. Now in this case, still full HP, surprisingly. But two tanks just left. The T28 prototype that we know where he is, and that SU-130 that we also know where he is, because, I mean, he's right there. And again, HE, not the full damage, because with a vehicle like this, you really want to prepare your approaches, because if you don't, you're gonna end up with a lot of wasted potential. Even though this is a great game, you can still see why sometimes you should take it a bit slower and not just rush in and send it. Because if you give yourself time to think, you'll also be playing a lot better. If you wait for your opportunity, you're gonna be doing a lot better. So, you don't just want to be playing fast. You want to slowly prepare for those fast moments. Because you only need a couple of them to do well. Well, depending on your tank, obviously, if you play like an Object 140, you need a lot more of those moments than, let's say, in a 183. I do find it funny that it does have the 90mm gun in the picture, even though it's not using that, and, well, no one's using that. It's the better option, really, for the T49. But nobody's using it, and rightfully so, because it's boring. Now, Borask. A good tank that some people consider OP when it isn't. But this vehicle, horrible DPM. Not really that amazing accuracy, it's okay, but only 6 degrees of gun depression. Mobility is fine, but not outstanding. Armor doesn't exist. But it does have a 2-shot clip, 230 alpha damage, 2 seconds. That's its only strength, really, compared to, well, other light-ish tanks. But It's a medium tank, so it doesn't have the light tank camouflage advantage, where you keep your camo the same when you're moving and when you're stationary. That's a bit unfortunate, but the autoloader is extremely useful at shredding enemy vehicles. And that's the same thing. You don't want to just rush in with a vehicle like this. You want to play slowly. You want to take your time and approach it right. Because if you don't, you got no armor, you got an autoloader that reloads for 17 seconds, you're going to be in a world of hurt if you do it too quickly and if you just send it right in there. And that's the important bit here, right? You'll always have 2 acts to each engagement. Well, technically 3, but same thing twice. You have the getting there, then you have the doing it, and then you have the getting out of there. You want to do the getting there part as slowly as possible because you have to think about if you're about to make a huge mistake or not, or if it's going to work out. But if you do it, you got to do it fast, and then you get the hell out of there as quickly as you can. And then again, you think, how can I get something done quickly? And that's what a lot of people don't really, well, to be fair, about most players in Blitz. Most players in Blitz don't care, don't bother, it doesn't matter. So basically, if you want to be a good player, all you have to do is know a little tiny bit of more than how to consume oxygen, and then you'll be a pretty decent player, for the most part. All you have to do is care and actually be interested in learning from your mistakes, getting faster at peeking, getting more thoughtful with where and how you peek, and ideally, here's a pro tip, not peek out when you're a one-shot while being spotted. Just a pro tip right there. Now, 4 versus 5, perfectly doable, still full HP, once again. In a vehicle like this, you don't really want to lose your hit points too early or at all, because they can be gone very, very quickly. And once again here, the guy doesn't think, he just peeks out, and he's gonna get his ass kicked right in, which isn't very helpful. So overall, what you want to do, even if you're playing a fast tank, obviously if you're playing a slow tank, you are gonna have a slow arrival phase anyway, which gives you a lot of time to think that you absolutely should not waste. But even in a very fast vehicle, don't underestimate the time it takes to build into a proper engagement, right? Planning is always better than picking up your scraps afterwards. And picking up the scraps in that case means you're going back to the garage. Now, this vehicle isn't really that accurate, so at a long distance like that, it's not really fun, but nonetheless, you can take that shot. You know that the T9 Polish heavy tank, or Czech heavy tank, back there, is mad, and he's not going to peek again. So you just go up there and take care of it. And the Leopard PTA doesn't really think either, and just decides to go forward and yeet it. And there. Take your time, take that guy out. I mean, you could have taken a shot there, but in that case, it's more important to take out the SMV. Very well done. Beautiful. Now, 3k damage, 3 enemies left standing, and a full health WT, which can 2-shot the Barask if the HE does hit. But we gotta be careful here, right? We do know there's 2 T9s. One of them is, well, pretty useless at this point, given that he's a one-shot, and that the Super Pershing is also a one-shot, which is a huge advantage. And with a tank like this, you can just set it. Now, ideally, the easiest target here is the Super Pershing. So that's what Homicide is going to do. It's going to send it for the Super Pershing, take out the guns first, ideally. And, never mind. He's not there. But here is the TNH TVZ51. That's a great name of a tank, clearly. And where did the Super Pershing go? He's gone. You're gonna find him eventually, right? 4 kills. Not too bad, though. But again, you don't just want to rush the WT right now, because that would be a very bad idea. What you want to do here is, again, you want to find that Super Pershing. You want to take out that Super Pershing and then focus on the WT. Not just run in there and get wrecked. That's the worst thing you can do period. You do not engage anyone unless it's in your favor. And to find that out, if the engagement is in your favor, that's where you want to play a bit slowly. That's where you want to think. That's where you want to look what's happening. You want to have a bit of patience, right? Because if a guy's staring at you, sure, you can peek and get shot and then trade, or you wait a bit, guy loses interest in you, and then you peek, and then you get shot. Sometimes having patience, playing a bit slower, is very rewarding and pays off quite massively. Just like in this case. So I urge you to not go too fast. Go fast once you're in there. Once you're peeking, as quickly, aim a shot, get out as fast as you can. But before you do that, think about what you're doing. Give yourself the time to think about what you're about to do, and give yourself the time to also think about what your teammates are doing and what your team's doing. Because the only thing that you lose if you then go too fast is yourself. Because you'll have no hit points, you'll have no damage, you'll have nothing. So think before you act. And that's a very important life lesson as well. Thank you very much for watching. See you next one. Goodbye.